Hello and welcome to the Film Pulse Podcast. This is episode number 498. My name's Adam Patterson. With me today, we've got Kevin Rakestraw. Hey, Kevin.
Hello.
This week on the show, got a little bit of a curveball coming at you here. We're going to be talking about the movie Cobweb, and it turns out there are two movies called Cobweb that came out this past year. I will be talking about one of them, and Kevin will be talking about the other one. So it's a Cobweb double bill this week.
Two Cobwebs.
Yeah, one is a South Korean comedy, and one is a straight to Hulu horror.
Yeah.
Hulu horror. So stay tuned for that. We'll also be going over some of what we're watching on the watch list, and this week's new releases in theaters, VOD, and Blu-ray. Thank you so much for tuning in. Let's go ahead and just jump straight in to it. What do you want to talk about yours first? I didn't see your Cobweb, so this will be new to me.
Cobweb apparently came out digital in August of 2023, but for some reason still shows up first when you type Cobweb in.
Well, probably because
you're talking about Samuel Bowden's Cobweb from Hulu.
Yeah, probably because the other one's not American, so
Yep,
gonna show up second.
Showing up second. So and this to me isn't like out of the realm of what we normally watch and or review. It's like, oh yeah, it's a horror movie. All right, it's on Hulu. I'll check it out. And guess what? It's actually not bad.
I heard mixed things about this. I haven't seen it. I did plan on seeing it. I just haven't gotten around to it. But it seems like maybe it was a bit divisive. But you tell me.
Yeah, I think you'll like this. It starts out like first impressions. I mean, it just hit me within like 5 minutes where I was just like, fucking Hulu horror movie. Like, why are we covering this? Unbeknownst to me that we weren't. That was my bad. But I was just like, why are we doing this? And like as it progressed, it kept taking these like little curveball turns where I was like, oh, okay, this is something different. This is not what I was expecting. And then it just kind of goes off the rails and gets crazy. And I was on board. And you had there's like little hints of it in the beginning of this, like Lizzie Kaplan's character, like her performance is it's off. She plays the mother of the 8-year-old Peter, who just can't sleep. He keeps hearing stuff in the walls. And there's just something off about her performance. And then later on, it makes sense. And I got to say that this is pretty outlandish and actually not a bad time at all. Nice.
Glad to hear it. Well, it seems like maybe you had the better Cobweb then. I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know if better would be the right word. So that's on Hulu. The one that I saw is the Ji-woon Kim one. And this is on VOD. It came out in limited release earlier, I think last year, and I think that it hit VOD last week or something like that. This is the director that did The Good, the Bad, and the Weird, A Tale of Two Sisters, I Saw the Devil. So I'm a pretty big fan of his work, and I didn't really know. I didn't really know what this movie was about, other than what it said on IMDb, where it says described as an experimental and genre-defying drama shot entirely on soundstage in support of a film within a film narrative. And I was like, okay, yeah, I like all those words, those keywords there. I like experimental, genre-defying. Yeah, I like that. Shot on a soundstage. Okay, interesting. Don't really care about that. And then film within a film, into that. And it's fine. It's there's really not a whole lot for me to really criticize or necessarily praise, other than the cinematography in this, which is absolutely incredible. Love the cinematography. It's great. because it's a film within a film, cinematography plays a really big part in the film that they're making. The thing is, like, the movie that they're making is not that interesting. It's just this kind of weird love story drama. It is genre defying, I would say, because there's actually these like weird horror elements involving giant spiders in it. But you know, you have Song Kang Ho here as the director, Kim, and any movie that he's in instantly gets some bonus points for me because I love that guy. Like, he's just so good in everything he's in. And he's a really good character in this. He's this like kind of struggling director who's really trying to get his vision out there. And what you have here is it's a type of movie that we've seen before, where it's like kind of the backstage chaos. It's the behind the scenes chaos of making a movie. I think like not too long ago on the 90s podcast, we talked about a movie. I think it was called Noise is Off or something like that. That was like behind the scenes at a play. And this had a similar vibe where there's just so much going on and it's just like everybody's stressed and scrambling, and then like the actors and the crew have their own drama that's happening, and then they're always trying to get the shot, and like things are getting messed up and people are quitting, and it's all just like, I feel like it's just stuff that I've seen before in other films. Like, everybody does a good job here, you know, performance wise and everything. And it's a mildly amusing time. I wouldn't say that it's entirely boring or anything. It is a bit overly long, I would say. It's like over 2 hours, which I feel like it could have been cut down a bit. A lot of what you see is the actual movie that they're making. So it cuts back and forth between, takes place in the 70s. So it'll cut back and forth between color and then black and white, which is the movie itself. They're shooting it in black and white. And yeah, at the end of the day, it's fine. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. It was just like, meh. I'll probably forget about it by the end of the year, I would say. But it's not bad. If you're really into movies about making movies, you know, like that type of subgenre, it's not bad. I mean, I actively disliked Noises Off, so it's better than that. I've saw some other people comparing it to One Cut of the Dead, which I don't necessarily see. Like, really the only thing that I see there is like the behind the scenes chaos. Other than, like, I feel like a lot of people just compare that because they're both Asian films. But I don't really see the comparison with those two. But yeah, it's fine. There's a giant spider in it that bites somebody in the face.
My movie also has spiders.
Oh, nice.
A different kind of spider. Spider-esque.
I just saw a trailer for a movie coming out that is about a spider called Sting. And it looks awesome. Sting. It looks like a classic creature feature.
Oh boy.
And I feel like we haven't had like a really solid creature feature in a while, and this is about a spider called Sting.
Stinging spider.
Yeah, like that. All right, so that's my Cobweb.
Mine sounds better.
Yeah, I mean,
at least to me, because one thing about mine is it's super short. It's only like an hour and 20 some minutes. That's perfect.
Yeah,
and
like,
I think of it, it's kind of in the same vein of, in terms of like horror movie wise. The experience was kind of like what was the name of that movie? Barbarian.
It looks like it was produced.
But like I'm thinking one thing, and then all of a sudden there's just this development where you're like, "Whoa, shit! I was not expecting this is what the movie is."
See, now that makes me definitely want to check it out more, because the reason that I didn't watch it up until now was because from the trailers it kind of just looked like your standard supernatural horror film. Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
like Babadook-esque.
Yeah, it's
And
not
I
that
was
at
just
all.
like, I've seen so many of those.
It is not that at all. It's actually pretty. I almost want to say campy, but it's not. It's not. Like it flirts with it.
Okay.
It comes so close, but it does a pretty good job of just like brushing up against that.
Well, I'll definitely have to check that one out then. I feel like you can skip Cobweb. Like I think that you would like it, but I also don't see you like really getting anything out of it. Other
Yeah.
than like a mildly entertaining time. Again, I will reiterate that the cinematography is really good. I mean, like the lighting and stuff like that, and the set work. The fact that it's all on a soundstage. Uh, the synopsis is a little bit misleading, where they're saying described as an experimental and genre-defying drama.
Hmm.
That makes it sound like the movie that we're watching is that, but it's not. The experimental genre-defying drama is what they're making in the movie that we're watching.
Okay.
So the movie that we're watching is pretty conventional. It's not really, and it's not shot entirely on a soundstage either. Like the movie within the movie is, but the movie we're watching is not. A
Gotcha.
lot of it's on a soundstage, but portions of it are not. Again,
Okay.
the set work is really good. The lighting is really good. Like just it's a very technically impressive movie. There's a really great uh, single take shot at the end that is really impressive, and like because you're seeing the behind the scenes stuff, you see how they shoot it, and then you actually see the final product. So that's pretty cool too. Actually, I'm kind of coming around. I'm like I'm pretty fresh off of this. I've just finished it like 15 minutes before we started recording, so I'm still kind of processing it. But all right, let's go ahead and give these cobwebs a score. Kevin, what are you going to give your cobweb?
I'm gonna give my Cobweb like a 7.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. I'm going to give my cobweb a light 6. Yeah, mine gets a light 6. All right, there you have it. By the way, this was totally not intentional. I don't know if I mentioned that it was a total mistake that we watched two different cobwebs, but it was.
It happens. It happens, you know?
It actually happened. Saved by the '90s. Something similar happened.
See, there's just too many of these movies trying to connect with that. What is it, the SEO? Get all
Yeah,
these fucking one-word movie titles bland as shit.
yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, let's move on to talk about some of what we've been watching.
Now we're fucking talking.
I believe it. I think it's my turn this week. I saw 100 Yen Love, directed by Masaharu Take. This is one that's been on my watch list forever, and finally it was like, you know what? Now's the time. Now's the time to do it. What you have here is this is a dramedy, I would say. Uh, Dramedy about this woman. She's in her 30s, early 30s, and she's just kind of a slacker. She got nothing going on in her life. She's just
Mm.
laying around eating junk food. She works at a gas station. Not a lot of prospects in her life, and something something horrible happens to her, and there's a boxing gym next to where she works, and she becomes sort of infatuated by the idea of there's the sport of boxing. So she starts to train, she starts going to the gym, and then like all of a sudden she has this like new thing in her life, and she just like puts everything she has into boxing, and she becomes a boxer, and she gets into shape. She starts to feel motivated and stuff. And it's great. Like it's fantastic. I loved this movie. Highly recommend it. It is it's sad, it's hopeful, it's funny. Sakura Ando's in it. She does an incredible job. And yeah, can't recommend it highly enough. 100 yen, love.
Hell yeah.
You
I
would,
want to see this movie so bad.
yeah, you will definitely like this a lot. I think.
Okay, I have a twofer.
Do it.
I just want to talk
Let's get
Hen
it.
and Lauder. Hen and Lauder.
Okay.
I want to talk about Brain Damage and Basket Case. I
All
watched
right.
both. So watch Brain Damage, and Lord have mercy, is this movie just like one of the greatest things I've ever seen. So I was just so enamored by this film. The way that it starts off, which is just this old New York couple losing their fucking minds because something's missing in their bathtub. And they're just going around screaming, just losing their fucking minds. And it's just constantly cut with this guy just like in his room. Brian, he's just in his room. He's not feeling well. He's got the flu or something. He's not feeling great. And it's just cutting between the two of those. There's not a whole lot of talking except for the aforementioned old couple losing their fucking minds and screaming and smashing all of their stuff. And then next thing you know, Brian's just kind of like hanging out, and like blue water just starts like filling up his room. And it's just such a weird way to start a film, especially a Henenlotter film, because you're like, this is far more like experimental slash artistic
Mm-hmm.
in a way that I'm like, okay, what's he? Is this like high art? What's he doing here? And then, you know, the fucking worm thing opens his mouth, and he's like, "Hey, Brian," and immediately I just locked in. I was like, "This is the perfect 10 out of 10. Nothing is going to dissuade me from a 10 out of 10. This movie is perfect, and I'm only like 8 minutes in." And guess what? It just keeps getting better. It disappoints. It just gets more outlandish. So I loved it. Absolutely loved it. So much so that I was like, have to watch Basket Case. And that one also didn't disappoint. Not as good for me, but still pretty damn good. You know, just kind of disgusting, that old sleaze, you know. But the first time that the guy falls out of the basket and you get that stop motion, that's where it took it like to another level.
Oh yeah.
Because I was just like, oh hell yeah, they're doing stop motion for this. This is incredible. Just he's in my director hall of fame, Henry Lauder.
Yeah, it's a shame he hasn't really done a lot. You know, like he just,
I know. I'm really bummed.
you know, like he did the 3 Basket Case movies, Frankenhooker, Brain Damage, and then he did Bad Biology, which was terrible, and then he did some docs.
Yeah, but
That's it.
the strength of these three alone, Brain Damage, Basket Case, and Frankenhooker, he's an all timer in my book.
The Basket Case sequels are pretty ridiculous. They lean really heavily into the like 80s 90s prosthetic and puppet stuff. So you get a lot of like different wacky creatures and stuff in those.
I love it. I don't know what it is about Basket Case, but just everyone going, "What's in the basket?"
Yeah, they gotta know. Which is funny. Which is funny because like in New York City, that would not, like, nobody give a shit. Like nobody would say a thing.
Time you see what is in the basket, you're just like, that basket's not big enough. I'm sorry.
No.
Like, it's fucking huge, and that basket is small.
Yeah. Cool. So that's a Head and Lauder double bill.
Oh hell yeah.
Let's see. I saw Dream Scenario. This is the Christopher Borgley. This is on VOD right now.
Nice.
If you're not familiar with this one, it stars Nicolas Cage as this kind of he's a college professor. He's just kind of he's just a regular old guy. He's just a kind of a bland milk toast kind of dude. And all of a sudden, people start having dreams, not about him, but he's in the dream. So, like, you know, somebody will be dreaming that they're like floating on a cloud or something, and this guy just kind of shows up in the dream, and he doesn't really do anything. He just shows up, and he's just kind of looking around and like just being present, just looking there. And it turns into this like kind of viral phenomenon where all of these people, hundreds, thousands of people, start having dreams with this guy in it for like for no reason, and he becomes this like internet sensation. And he starts to, becomes internet famous and stuff, and then the inevitable cancellation occurs after people start having nightmares with him in it, and it just completely takes a turn. It's pretty good. I'm not sure that I liked the ending too much, but I did like kind of what it was going for, just the movie in general, about looking at like internet fame and virality and cancel culture and all of that stuff. And I think it was an interesting way of looking at that. And of course, Nicolas Cage was incredible in this. Like he was really great in it. Sometimes with his movies, like you feel like he's kind of phoning it in a little bit, but not with this one. It seemed like he was taking this one very seriously, even though he does get to be kind of wacky, like in the dream sequences. He gets to do some kind of wacky stuff. But yeah, I would give it a light recommend. Dream Scenario, check it out.
That sounds great. We're just talking about a lot of good movies so far.
Mm-hmm.
Good movies, because I got another one. It's called Absurd from 1981.
I'm familiar with this. I just saw this for the first time, like pretty recently.
Yeah.
Nope, never mind. It says 2018 on my review.
Oh,
I thought it was like very recent, but sorry. Go ahead.
Man, I appreciate movies like this, and I miss movies like this. Super simple premise, because right off the bat, you got this guy shows up, someone's chasing him. You don't know what the fuck's going on. Barges into a hospital. They do some surgery, and then they start to figure out like what the hell's going on. And it's simple. The man is insane. His cells regenerate, but they don't regenerate correctly, and thus makes him insane. And what does insanity do to him? He just walks around, he sees someone, he kills them. That's it. That's the movie. And oh shit, he got out. We got to find him. Put an end to this. Super simple, like no backstory. They don't try to really explain any of this. They do a little bit, and it makes even less sense, which is fucking awesome. And I just love it because that's the explanation they give. He's insane. Okay? That's all you need to know. And he is. He's just wandering around killing people, and they gotta stop him. The music's incredible. A lot of the kills drawn out to the point of like super disturbing. Like there's one in particular where he kills a woman by like forcing her head inside of an oven.
Yeah.
And it just goes on forever. And it's like one of the most disturbing things I've ever seen.
I don't
But
remember.
that's also Okay, go.
Sorry, I was just going to say I don't remember a lot about that movie, but I remember the oven scene.
Yeah, I don't think you can forget the oven scene. Because of course it's the camera inside the oven, and like it's intercut with this like teenage girl that's like tied up in a bed, not in a bad way. It's like she's injured somehow, and she has this like chin strap thing contraption hooked up, and her brother needs her help. So it's intercut between the woman's head inside the oven, which you see, and every time it comes back, it's obviously more burnt than it was before. And then the other part of it is just this girl trying to undo buckles. And seriously, it felt like it was that for like 20 minutes. Just buckles and a face burning. Buckles, face burning. Buckles. And it's just that forever.
Buckles and burning.
Buckles and burning. And her face just slowly melts. And they just put that on the screen there. And it's a tough watch. And then the final scene, or the final like shot, because it does the old school freeze frame.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, fucking awesome.
Yep. That's Absurd from 1981.
So good.
I saw the Iron Claw. This was, one of the higher profile releases from last year. It's finally on VOD. This is directed by Sean Durkin. I enjoyed this quite a bit. I think that the performances are great. Good script. I was already familiar with the Von Erich story, like the family curse and all of that stuff. If you're not familiar, it is the Von Erichs were a wrestling dynasty. It was a whole family of professional wrestlers, and a lot of absolutely horrible shit happened to the members of this family. And this movie just sort of goes through that in a very kind of pretty standard biopic way. It's shot very well. It's shot on film, so it looks very good. Takes place in the 70s, so it does a really good job of capturing that like kind of late 70s, early 80s wrestling vibe, which I like a lot. I don't watch wrestling, and I'm not really into like modern pro wrestling or anything, but I'm absolutely fascinated with behind the scenes stories. The reason that I know about the Von Erich brothers is I saw a documentary about them. Actually, I think it was on that there's a show on Vice called The Dark Side of the Ring, and it was like Jason Eisner he did the show, and it's a series of documentaries about different wrestlers and things that horrible history of professional wrestling. That's how I learned about the Von Erichs. This movie's great. Really, really great performances from Zac Efron, Jeremy Allen White. Maura Tierney too is in there. Stanley Simmons. Stanley Simons. Just a great all around A24 film. It's definitely got that signature A24 style. Dream Scenario is also A24, by the way.
A bunch of A24.
Yeah. Anyway, I would definitely recommend the Iron Claw, even if you're not super into wrestling. It's a lot more than that. But I think it does a good job of telling their story. I think does a good job of encapsulating how fucked up professional wrestling is and what it does to pretty much everybody who is involved in it for any length of time. Because there's so many stories like this throughout the industry, and I think this is just like one of the most extreme cases of just the horrible stuff that tends to happen to people in the industry.
The only other thing I'm going to mention is Repo Man.
Hell yeah!
Which is good timing because you saw the recent news there of Alex Cox coming back for Repo Man 2 or something? I don't know. Make it a Repo Man 2.
I didn't know that, but
yeah, that just came out a couple days ago.
Not really sure how I feel about
it. Yeah, I can't say that I'm that interested, honestly.
He made a movie called Repo Chick in 2009.
And from my understanding, because I just read about it real quickly after watching this, there's something about the studio like made a sequel without his permission. So he made that movie as like a fuck you to the studio or something.
Huh. Is there like did they release it? Is there a Repo Man 2?
I don't, or no, the Repo Men. When they did that, was it Judd Law and...
What? Wait a minute. That can't be... That's related?
I think that's what it was.
I don't know, dude. Like, because that movie's completely different. That's like a sci-fi movie about people getting like organs back. It's not even close to being.
But where did I read about what the fuck is it called? Repo Chick.
Repo Chick, yeah.
Repo Chick.
There's Repo, the Genetic Opera. That's definitely not a studio film.
It was something like that. I can't remember where I read it now. Either way. So I finally got around to watching Repo Man. Because I remember you liking this movie.
Mm-hmm.
a lot growing up, and I just never watched it. I don't know why. And this is another one of those movies that within like 5 minutes, there was just something about the style of this, just the look of it, the music, just the general atmosphere, tone, that I was just like, I had the biggest fucking grin on my face watching this movie from start to finish. I was just absolutely enamored. And it
Yeah,
just kept
I love
getting
Repo Man.
slightly weirder, and then just the way that it all culminates with the green fluorescent car,
Mm-hmm.
just absolutely, what I mean, what a fucking time. What a ride Repo Man is from 1984.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, man, Emilio Estevez, Harry Dean Stanton, it's it's great. It's a cult classic. It's like the
Yeah,
definition of a cult classic.
it's just such a good fucking movie though.
And the
Like
Criterion
everything
version
about
is
it,
great too, by the way.
dude, the music, the like the
Mm-hmm.
camera work, everything, the framing, like every single aspect of it is incredible.
Yep, I agree. I love Repo Man. Cool. Well, I can't top that. I saw Rye Lane, but I pretty much just mirror what you said about it
Yes,
the other
I
week.
saw that.
Um, I thought it was great. Highly recommend it. It's on Hulu.
Uh, Question for you: how much time from the ending of that movie until you put on Tribe Called Quest?
Dude, the next day, actually. So the next day, I looked up the soundtrack and was listening to the soundtrack while I was working. So
Yes.
it was the
I
next
think
day.
I think I did the next day too, where I was like, on my drive into work, I am listening to Low End Theory. That is what I'm doing.
Yeah. Yeah, I absolutely love the soundtrack on this movie. It was fantastic.
Which I gotta say, listening to Low End Theory this time around, uh, I mean, I always liked Q-Tip. Like he was always my favorite, but man, Fife, I think is better on that record than he is.
I mean, I don't know. I don't really have an opinion on which one I prefer. It's just for me it's like almost like the day of the week. All right. Let's take a look at what we have in theaters, VOD, Blu-ray this week. I'm just going to lump them all together because I have them all on one page and it'll just be easier than trying to split them up.
Do it.
Starting with the 20th, we have Memory. That's going to be on VOD. Brawl and Cell Block 99 is coming out on Blu-ray. We got the Doldrums coming out on VOD. We got the Green Ghost and the Masters. What is this? Green Ghost and the Masters of the Stone.
Oh yeah.
That's going to be on Blu-ray. We got Box Metaphor. You are where you choose to be. That's going to be on Blu-ray. It looks terrible. On the 21st, or sorry, on the 22nd, we have Lovely, Dark, and Deep. That's going to be on VOD. We got the Omicron Killer.
All right.
The Omicron Killer.
How the fuck you spell that?
Omicron. Omicron.
Omicron Killer. All right.
That looks like it's going to be in limited release. We got Kemba, which is going to be on BET Plus. Then on the 23rd, we have Stop Motion, which I'm actually very excited for. That's going to be in theaters, probably a limited release, if I had to guess. Bring Him to Me is going to be on VOD on the 23rd. Married to the Game is going to be on Amazon. Looks like a soccer doc. Looks like there's a new Demon Slayer movie that's going to be opening in theaters. I feel like every other week there's a new Demon Slayer movie. Movie called Seagrass.
Seagrass.
Getting limited release. Drugstore June. Gonna be in theaters. Thabo and the Rhino Case is gonna be in theaters. Let's see what else we got here. Political War is gonna be getting a limited release.
Political War.
Political War.
Oh no.
About dry grasses. Looks
There we
like
go.
there's some sort of documentary about Hideo Kojima. Hideo Kojima connecting worlds. Actually, I don't know if that's about him or if it is like just featuring him. It says a journey. Okay, a journey into the creative mind of the most iconic video game designer in the world. This visually captivating documentary gives a rare glimpse into Hideo Kojima's creative process as he launches his own independent studio. I'll actually probably check that out. I like Hideo Kojima stuff a lot. I actually just started playing Death Stranding.
Yeah.
And
What is that like? Because that looks like
it's
what's that like?
interesting. I don't know if you'd be into it or not.
It looks terrible to me.
The it's the vibe is like it's great. I mean, like the whole game is like you're delivering stuff. You're like a delivery person,
That
and
sounds
you're just
terrible.
walking through these
Oh,
like absolutely gorgeous landscapes. It's like you're in Iceland, and there's more to it than that. But
I'd rather punch a hole through my face.
I
That sounds like the
it's
worst fucking
somehow
thing in the world.
I the reason that I hadn't played it for since it came out was precisely that I was like, I don't think that's going to be really I don't think I'm going to be really into that, but I got it for free through Epic. One they do a free game every week, and at some point they gave it out for free.
They
So
had to.
I was finally like, you know what? I'm going to give this a shot. And I've really been enjoying it so far. I'm not like super far into it or anything, but I mean, it's gorgeous and I like games that have you work. Like I like working simulator type games, and this game is sort of like that where yeah, it's gorgeous and it's an extremely rich and detailed world. And there's a lot of weird shit that happens too. It's not all just like there is actual like kind of stealth type things and some I'd say light combat, but like a lot of it is like managing your cargo and stuff, like making sure that the way that you pack the stuff that you're delivering is balanced correctly. And a large portion of the game is just keeping your balance as you like walk from point A to point B.
Huh.
It's yeah, it's certainly not something for everyone, but I've been enjoying it quite a bit. Let's see what else we have here. So yeah, that's gonna be on Disney Plus, by the way, the Kojima documentary. Scared Soil, The Woods. What is this? The Piney Woods School Story. That's gonna be on Hulu.
Hulu.
Veselka, The Rainbow on the Corner. Limited release. Drive Away Dolls. That's the Ethan. Is it Ethan Cohen? Yeah, Ethan Cohen directed one.
But yeah, that's right.
I mean, like the trailers really are doing it for me on that one. Like, it looks like it could be funny, and I mean, I'll check it out, but I don't know. It feels dated for some reason. It feels like one of those like early 2000s crime comedies, dark crime comedies. You know?
It's got Joey Slotnick though.
I don't know. It's got a really great cast, and yeah, hopefully it's good.
Joey Slotnick, man. Wow.
Onlookers coming out on VOD. Parallels going to be on VOD. Cold Meat getting a limited release. The Promised Land with Mads Mikkelsen getting a VOD release. History of Evil going to be on Shudder. Red Right Hand is going to be on VOD. Ingress getting a limited release. Spaceman is coming out in theaters. Not
Spaceman.
Not Netflix yet, I don't think. So they're putting it out in theaters
the
first.
Sandler Spaceman. He's
It is.
Spaceman.
Yeah, it is the
Space.
Sandler Spaceman. I'm interested in that one. That's pretty much it. What about Criterion's this week?
Oh my god, we got 3.
Whoa.
Yeah, we got a twofer, and that's the Heroic Trio and Executioners. Definitely check that out. That's a double.
Oh, Michelle Yeoh.
1993. Yep. Johnny Toe movies. They're so good. They're so ridiculous. Outlandish. Over the top. Love it. Good stuff. Christian Petzold's A Fire from, I think that was last year or something. I don't know. His movies bore the shit out of me. No interest. And then Nothing But a Man. Incredible movie from 1964. Great performance from Ivan Dixon. I'm glad to see that this is finally on Criterion, because this wasn't available for the longest time. Now it's out.
Nice. Cool. So that's a pretty solid lineup for next week. There's
a
a
bit of everything.
Yeah, there's a decent number of things coming out, I think. All right, cool. Well, I think that's going to do it for this week. Thank you so much for listening. You can send us your questions and topics to podcast@filmpulse.net. And if you could, consider reviewing us on iTunes, that'd be great. For Kevin Rakestraw, my name's Adam Patterson. We'll see you next week.